Suppose there's a tree and how will you represent it? See, representation of a tree starts from here. A has 3 children, B, C and D. Okay, if it is for list representation, how you will do? A you will write here and make a box. It has 3 children, B, C and D. So first children will be this, B, then C, then D. Okay, but B has 2 more children, so B will be brought down like this and these 2 children will be written, E and F. C has no children, so it will be empty here, and D has 3 more children here, so D will be brought down and the 3 children G, H and I will be written in this fashion. So continuing that, you will have the list representation. The second representation which you have is array representation. See, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Write like this, make a box, make some divisions and write 0 to 6, then write in the order A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Okay, that's the array representation. The third one is this linked list representation. How you will do? Same as this tree. A, it has B here, C here, right? Just make this circle as a box here and make 2 more boxes. This will point to this box, this will point to this box. This is B, this is C. B has 2 more children, so it will be made in the same fashion. Okay, this is the representation of trees. Here are some additional operations. This is not that important, but if you want you can watch this too. See, if you have to copy a tree, what you will do? First you will create a temp, means just a circle as this one, and temp arrow info is equal to root arrow info. What is the info here? That will be copied here. Then this function will be called copy root lptr, means this whole part should be copied here, and then after doing that, temp rptr is equal to copy root rptr. This whole part will be copied here when the function will call again. So when the function calls, I'll show you for one case. When the function calls again, this will be here, this will be copied. Similarly, when again function calls, this will be copied, like that. For lptr, when this gets over here, then this one will be called, this one will be the same thing, and that's the way you copy a tree. Another function here is to check if 2 trees are equal. Okay, see, if 2 trees are there like R1 and R2, first what we will do, we will check if R1 and R2 both are null, means there is no tree, so it both are nothing. Okay, means that is equal. If R1 is null and R2 is not null, so they can't be equal. Similarly, if R1 is not null and R2 is null, that is also not equal. So if R1 of info, means this one, R1 of info is equal to R2 of info, means this one. If these both are equal, then we have to check this is equal, this is equal. Okay, so then we will call the same function again for L link as well as R link. When this one will be checked, then this will be checked. Okay, so that's the way you check if 2 trees are equal. All right. This is one of the most important topics. You must pay very much attention to this topic: pre-order, post-order and in order. Okay, now see, what is pre-order? Pre-order means NLR. Now what is NLR? N means node, L means left, R means right. Okay, now how to remember which one is LR and like that? Okay, see, left, right, LR is constant. Okay, in pre-order, pre means what? Initially, means starting. So in starting you will have node. In post-order, post means at last, right? So LR will be constant and at last you will have N. And in order means in between. So LR will be constant, in between you will have N. Okay, in that way you can remember pre-order, post-order and in order. Now if you have to write the pre-order for this given tree, what you need to do? Step 1, write NLR. If it is pre-order, you have to write NLR for every node. Okay, after writing all this, start from the top node. In that node you will have NLR, right? N means node, node means it will get printed A. So when that is over, cut it. L means go to left, cut it and go to left. In left you have B, NLR, again N will be there, cut N and output B. Then again L is there, right? Go to L. Okay, when you will go to L, again you will have D. Similarly do like that, and again you will go to L, and when you will come here it will be again G, N. L is not there, so L will be cut. R is also not there, R will be cut. So when this gets over, it gets back to where it came from. Now it should go to right. Okay, right. Then again H will be printed. Then these 3 things will be cut and it will go back. When it goes back, it will check here. This one R, no, nothing is there. So it will go again back here. Then A has right, so A will go here. Like that, if you continue, you will get the whole sequence of pre-order. Now how to do the post order? Just write LRN in place of all of this, and go to left, then again left, 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 then R, go to right, cut it, the same thing. In order also the same thing, you will get this thing very easily. Okay, threaded binary tree, you have to remember two things: right and left. Successor, predecessor. Successor means next, predecessor means previous. All right, now in this is a normal tree. Okay, now what you have to do, you have to make the successor and the predecessor. How you will do that? Now see here, D has no link here and it has no link here, so predecessor you have to find and successor you have to find. Right means successor, left means predecessor. Now what does predecessor mean? It should point to the previous node. If it is pre-order threaded binary tree, you will write the pre-order first, then before D what it comes? B, so you will point this to B. All right, then what is the successor of D? After D what it comes? C, so we will point it to C, like this. Okay, then similarly for E, what comes before E? C, so E will be pointing to this. So it depends on what threaded binary tree you are taking. If it is pre-order, you will do write this one and make the connections in that form. The only thing in threaded binary tree is no link should be left empty. Wherever you see empty box, no arrow is there, that time you have to look and make it. You have to write in order and post order for the respective binary tree. Okay, I have two codes. This one, okay, this one is very easy, this one is a bit hard. Let's see how it is. In this first part, it is checking if the tree is empty or not. That's easy, right? Then in second, you will print a print order pre-order traversal. Then coming inside the for loop, you will see temp is equal to pre-order successor. Means what you will do, you will print a node, then you will find the successor, means next node you will print it. How you will find the successor? That code is here. Okay, now this one is a bit small code, you can memorize and keep in your mind, write 2-3 times. Okay, so like X arrow, L link, L thread. Okay, and this is the main thing. Okay, in this way you can find the pre-order successor. Okay, if it is in order successor, some slight differences will be there, but the thing is same. Okay, memorize this one, it's also asked in exam many times. Okay, binary search tree is a very interesting topic. See, first you will start from here. Okay, if you want to construct a binary search tree, you will get to know what it is. See, first 5 if they have given, they'll ask you to construct, so I am telling it's high chances are there. Okay, 5 if they have given, make it 5 like this, then 1. Now you need to remember one thing, if it is smaller than 5, you have to put in the left. Okay, then 4, you have to check from here. 4 is less than 5, right? And if it is greater than 1, you will put it in right. Then what is the next thing? 6 is greater than 5, you will put here. Then 2 will come here because it is lesser, and it is greater than 2 but it is less than 4, so 2 will come here. Then 8 is greater than 5 as well as 6, so it will come here. Then 7 is greater than 5 and 6 but it is less than 8, so it will be in left of 8. Okay, it's a pretty simple one, but high marks are weighted for this one. Okay, then you have some operations on binary search tree, which is traversal means any order, in order, pre-order, post order, whichever they ask you have to write that one. Okay, that I had discussed earlier. No, that is the same thing for here. Searching means what? If I want to search for, what I will do, if I want to see, I want to search for, I'll compare with 5. If it is less than 5, I should go this part, right? So I'll go to L link. If it is less than 1 or greater than 1, if it is greater than 1, I'll go here, and that's the way I get this 4 here. Insertion means what? If I want to insert any code, if it is less, I'll insert in this part. If it is more, I'll insert in this part. Okay, suppose I want to insert 9 here, so I'll check with this. 9 is greater than 5, 9 is greater than 6, 9 is greater than 8, so I'll insert it here. Okay, deletion is very simple. 5, if I want to delete 2 here, what I will do, if the node to be deleted is less than 5, I'll go here. If it is more than this one, I'll go here. If it is less than this, I'll go here. When I get this, I'll delete it. Okay, that's the simple procedure for deletion. Okay, these are very important topics, please make a note of it. Coming to the last topic, which is expression tree. In expression tree, what you will have, they will give you an equation, you have to construct this tree. Okay, now see, observe the equation. This can be divided into 2 parts. This whole can be divided into 1 part, and this can be divided into 1 part, because this whole is squared, so we can't separate this thing. So this will be 1 part, this will be second part. So when you get 2 parts like that, what you need to do, make this as the top node, and then you have to write this whole part here and this part here. So you will write 3 here, and then you will write the same thing here. After the final tree you will get here, but when you will write this, see, suppose how it will be 1, you will write here 3, okay, plus 3, and you will write this whole code here like this. For construction time you need to make this, but finally you need to write how it appears finally. Okay, now the same thing you apply here. It is, this whole is raised to 2, right? So this can be divided into 2 parts, this part and this part. So you can take this as the node and divide it into 2 parts. Now how will it be? Plus 3, then here this you can take as here, then it is divided into 2 parts, 2 and 6 plus 3 minus 2 into 5. Okay, so like that, for same thing you will do, and finally you will get this. Chances are there they ask this question about write a code for pre-order. Okay, mostly what you have to do, this is the initialization part, means you will create a current and top. Okay, then the second part, if root is null, printf t is empty, that's easy. Current is equal to root means current will be root. Now write this one for this. Now I can give you a trick here, what it is. See, pre-order is NLR, no? So first what you will do inside the while loop, printf. Okay, then you will put in the stack, then you will go to L-link. Then after while loop gets over, you have to finally go to R-link. Okay, in that way you can memorize. For in order it is LNR. For post order it is LRN. For post order it's a bit different code, but the thing is same. Okay, so in that way you can at least write 2-3 times and memorize, and remember this trick for your exams. If there are few circles which are connected, that is known as a graph. You can represent it in 2 forms. If they ask you to represent it in matrix form, what you need to do, first observe this graph, and here you will write 4 nodes are there, you will write 4 nodes here, 4 nodes here. Okay, if there is a link, means 0 to 3 has a link, right? You will write 1. If it has no link, 0. Like that you will do for whole. And second representation is adjacency linked list. In that what you will do, you will create a list here, 0 1 2 3. Now 0 has which all connections, 1 3 2. So you will write 1 2 3. This can be in any order, but the connections will be denoted in this form. Then 1 has connection with 2, that will be denoted in this form. See, 2 doesn't has a connection with 1 because it is a directed graph. Okay, so you will represent it in this form. And then you have weighted graph. Weighted graph means the direction will be there, but it will have some value also. So the same thing, if it has value you will write the value there, or if it has no value you will write infinity there. Okay, no value means there is no connection between 1 and 4. So 1 and 4 has no connection, so it will be denoted as infinity. Third point you need to keep in mind is 1 3 2 and 4, all the nodes will have 1 to 1, it will be 0, not infinity. Okay, now adjacency list will also be the same. Write the nodes here 1 2 3 4, and it will have connection with, suppose it has the connection with 2, right? So what you will write here, 2 comma 20. It also has connection with 3, right? So you will write 3 comma 10. Like that you will do the for the whole, and this completes the representation of graph. You will be given a graph and you will be asked to find the BFS and DFS. BFS and DFS are there in your lab program also. So you have to remember 2 things, BFS and DFS. B comes before D, right? And for BFS Q will be used, and for DFS stack will be used. Q comes before S of stack. So in that way you can remember, for BFS it is Q, and for DFS it is stack. Now coming to the graph part, you will be given this graph. What you need to do in alphabetical order, if they ask, what you need to do first make this 4 columns, U V S Q. Okay, nodes visited and this Q. Okay, now first you need to, in the first row, put 2 dash and write the first alphabetical order A, if they ask in that way, or if they ask to start from D, you should start from D. Okay, now what you need to do, whatever will be in the queue, copy it here, A. Then see A, what A has the connections with, D, B, E and C, right? So write in alphabetical order, B comma C comma D comma E. All right, then nodes visited, A is already visited and 4 new nodes you have visited, so A, B, C, D, E. Then Q, what it will have, the new nodes visited, this one was used, so what new nodes came here, that will be written here, B, C, D, E. Now again delete the first element of the queue, B, and write here B. Now C for B, what is the adjacent one, B has adjacency with F as well as A, write whatever it has, even if it is visited, you have to write AF. Now next, node visited, new node is F, right? So you will write the same thing here, and at last you will write F. Now in Q what it has, B was deleted, so C, D, E. but new node also was visited, so f, you will write f. In the similar fashion, you will take now C and do things, and when you continue till that, you will get at last one code here. Okay, at last what you will get, that will be the BFS. See, after some point you will have all the nodes visited, but still you need to continue that writing. E you will take here again and write that one. This one will be the same thing. Okay, so in exam, if you don't have time, what you can do, you can just stop at this point and write this. Okay, don't waste your time in continuing this, and by that you can lose your marks also. DFS uses stack. Okay, same thing, you will write here stack v nodes visited and pop stack. Okay, now first two lines I will show you, and the rest of the things are just repeated things. Okay, you will start from A. Okay, you will write in the stack A, then you will do dash, then nodes visited, A has been visited, so A will be written and this will be dash here. Now next what you need to do, check the alphabetical order. A is connected with B, so you will write here B in the stack. Okay, along with A comma B. Then this is the second step. First only you will write A only. Okay, first you will write adjacent what it is, B. Okay, then you will write A comma B visited, then here nothing, pop stack. Then after that you will have in the stack A comma B. Okay, then what is adjacent of B? C. Adjacent of B is F, right? So you will write here F. Okay, then after writing F, you will write here nodes visited was F, right? So you will write here A comma B comma F. Now you will check F is connected with D, so you will write here D. Then you will write nodes visited A, B, F and D. Now D has no more connection because A is already visited. So what you will do, you will come back here and pop this one D. Okay, when you will pop D here, what it will be here, A comma B comma F. Okay, now F has no adjacent node. Okay, means D is already visited, so this will be copied here, A comma B comma F comma D. Now you D is already deleted, right? So F will be here. Now you will pop F. When you will pop F, what will be there? A comma B. Now again B has no more adjacent nodes which are not visited, so here A, B, F and D. Sorry, D will be always here because it's the visited nodes, right? So yeah, then what you will be popping up off is B. So when B will be popped off, it will be A here. Now A has connection with C and E. You will choose C. Okay, because it's the alphabetical order. You will write A, B, F, D, C. Now you will not pop anything. You will come to the next line and you will write A comma C. Now what C has connection with G, so you will write here G and write A, B, F, D, C, G. Like that, if you continue till the end, when you will have no nodes here, okay, stack will be empty. That time what the equation you will have, that will be the final equation. All right. Among the sortings, first one you have insertion sort. I'll be explaining in very depth. If you have time, please do watch. See, let's consider random numbers like 13, 12, 15, 2, 8. Okay, let's consider 5 numbers. Now what is n? N means how many digits are there, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So n will be 5. Now coming to this part, in sort, int a and int n, int I, j and item. Okay, now I is 1 first, initially I is 1. Then next item is equal to a of I. What is a of I? A of I is 12. So item will be 12. Next j is equal to I minus 1. I is 1, so I minus 1 is 0. So j is 0. Alright. Then we will come to this loop. While item, what is item? 12. So while 12 is less than a of j. What is a of j? A of 0. What is a of 0? 13. While 12 is less than 13 and j is greater than or equal to 0. Yeah, j is 0. So j is greater than or equal to 0 is true. So it will come inside this while loop. A of j plus 1 is equal to a of j. What is a of j? A of 0 means 13. 13 should come at j plus 1 means 1. A of 1. What is a of 1? 12. So this place it should have 13. 13 will come and sit at this place. So in this place it will have 13. Okay. Now j is equal to j minus 1. Now j was 0, right? So j will become minus 1 now. Now this while loop, it will end here, but it will come out of this while loop. Why? Because j is minus 1 and this condition will become false. Okay, so when it comes out of this while loop, what it will be? The thing a of j plus 1, j is minus 1, minus 1 plus 1, that is 0. What is a of 0? A of 0 should be item. What is item? Item is 12. A of 0 should be 12. What is a of 0? This one. This should be 12 now. Okay, after doing this, then you will come to the for loop here. I will become 2, I plus plus, I will become 2. So just make here 2. Now when I is 2, item is equal to a of 2. What is a of 2? 15. Item will become 15. J is equal to I minus 1. I is 2. 2 minus 1, 1. J will become 1. Okay. Then next, while item is less than a of j. Now what is item? It's 15. 15 is less than a of j. J means a of j means a of 1, 13. While 15 is less than 13. Is 15 less than 13? No. So it will not go into this while loop. Okay. So it will come here. A of j plus 1. J is 1, right? So j of a of j plus 1 is a of 2. That should have item. Item is 15. So a of 2 should have 15. See here. A of 2. It will have 15. It's already 15, so no changes will be made. Then I will become 3. Okay. I will become 3. Then item is equal to a of I. What is a of I? A of 3. A of 3 means 2. Item will be 2. Now j is equal to I minus 1. I is 3. 3 minus 1 is 2. So j will become 2. Now item is equal here. While item is less than a of j. What's item? 2. While 2 is less than a of j. A of j means what is j? 2. A of 2. A of 2 is 15. While 2 is less than 15. Correct? J is greater than 0. Yeah, fine. So it will come inside this loop. Okay. Here a of j plus 1. What is j? J is 2. 2 plus 1. A of 3. A of 3 is equal to a of j. J is 2. So a of 2. What is a of 2? This should come in a of 3. Yeah, here. Okay. So 15 will come here. Okay. Then j is equal to j minus 1. J is here. J will become j minus 1. Now j is 1. Again you will check these conditions. Item is less than a of j. What's item? Item is 2 only. Is less than a of j. A of 1. What is a of 1? 13. While 2 is less than 13. Yeah, it's true. J is greater than or equal to 0. Yeah, 1 is greater than or equal to 0. So it will come inside this while loop. A of j plus 1 is equal to a of j. What is a of j plus 1? A of 2. What is a of 2? 15. See, a of 2 is 15. So 15 is equal to a of 2 means a of 2 is equal to a of j. A of j means a of 1. What a of 1 has, that should come to a of 2. What a of 1 has, that should come to a of 2. 13 will come here. Then j will become j minus 1. Now j is 0. Again, item is less than a of j. What is a of j? A of 0. What's item? Item is 2 here. Is less than a of j. A of 0. What is a of 0? 12. While 2 is less than 12. And j is greater than or equal to 0. A of j plus 1. It's a of 1. A of 1 is equal to a of j means a of 0. A of 0. What is a of 0? 12. 12 should be copied to a of j plus 1. Okay, means here. So 12 will come here. And j will become j minus 1. J will become 0 minus 1, that is minus 1. Now it will come out of this, and a of j plus 1 is equal to item. What is a of j plus 1? A of minus 1 plus 1, 0. A of 0 is item. Item was 2, right? So 2. So 2 will come here. See, what happened is, if the item which we are considering, if it is less, if it is less than the item which we are comparing, that item will be copied to the next place, and the item which we need to insert will come to the previous place. In the 4 iterations, I hope so you got an idea of how this works. And if you also think about this in detail, you can also get how the code works. Okay, so that's insertion sort. There is a great shortcut to remember radix sort. See, radix sort code you have divided into 3 parts. Okay, see, first part is this one. This one is for finding the largest digit. Okay, means if you have like 8, 2, 1 and 14 and 24, 17, in that the greatest one is this one. Okay, so by using this formula you will find the largest digit, and then m will be the thing, m will be how many digits the largest number has. Okay, so m will have 3 here. Okay, suppose we have some numbers in that the largest one is 821 and the number of digits the largest one has, that is 3. Now what you need to do, you need to remember 2 things here. This loop, okay, just focus on this one, the whole code is here. For j is equal to 1, j is less than m. So what it will do, for each digit it will compare first digits. Okay, then second digits it will compare, m is equal to 2. When m is equal to 3, it will stop the iteration. So for 3 loops it will run. Now I is equal to 0, I is less than 9, p of I is null. See, let's start from here initially. Now see, p of I, this all will be null. Okay, and j is 1 here, I is 0. Starting from here, I 0, I will run till n. Okay, so what it does is, you will get within 1 minute what it does. See, I is 0 now. Now what you need to do, you will have some numbers initially here. Okay, suppose that I have the numbers, these numbers. Okay, now what I need to do, what this for loop will do, I will run from 0 to n, means it will get each digit in the iteration. In the first iteration it will concentrate at 72, then 61, then 401. Okay, so when it concentrates at 72, what it does, digit is equal to a of I, which is 72. 72 divided by 10 raised to j minus 1, j is 1, so 1 minus 1 is 0, so 10 raised to 0 is 1, right? So 72 divided by 1 percentage 10. So what is 72 percentage 10? You will get the remainder 2, right? So this digit, which is the last digit, that is getting compared. So for 72 you got 2. Okay, this one. Now what will happen, p of digit, what is p of digit, this one, p of 2, here it will be stored 72. Okay, so for the next one 61, right, what it will be stored, this will be 61 will be stored here, 401 will be stored here. All right, so like that all these digits will be stored. This one is a linked list, so it will be stored in this form. All the digits will be stored. Then what's the next thing, when all digits will be over, it will come out of this loop. It will come out of this loop and it will go to this loop. What does this loop do? It will run from 0 to 9. Okay, 0 to 9, and in each iteration what it will do, it will calculate p of 0 for c. I mean, it will go to this position, and whatever will be the digits here, it will copy in this position, in this a. So what it will be, in the next iteration it will go here and it will copy 61 here, then in the next place it will copy 401 here, then 72 here, then 33 here, like that. Okay, it will do the thing. That's the first iteration. In the next iteration j will become 2. See, it will come here, j will become 2 now. Now what does j do? After j has become 2, it will calculate the second digit. Okay, second last digit. Like for each one it will calculate 6, 0, 7, 3, 2. Okay, in that fashion it will store. But before that, due to this loop, p of I is equal to null, it will make all the values of this as null. Okay, through an iteration. When that has become null, you will again come to this for loop. I will run from 0 to n and it will calculate each digit of a of I. Okay, means first it will calculate this, and it is looking at second digit now. How you know it is looking at second digit now? See here, j is 2, right? So suppose that a of I is 61. Okay, 61 divided by 10 raised to 2 minus 1. What is 2 minus 1? 1. 10 raised to 1 is 10. 61 divided by 10 is 6, right? 61 divided by 10, it will give 6. 6 percentage 10, it will give 6, right? So for by using this, it's calculating the second digit, this one. Now what it will do, it will show p of digit is 6, p of 6 will have this value. So whatever be the value, like 6 is there, no, so it will get stored here, 61. then 401, second is 0, so it will be stored here. See, 401, it will be stored here. Then 72, 7, it will be stored with 7. Okay, in that same way it will go for all digits. When it has done that, it will end this for loop. For I is equal to 0 to n, it will end. Then it will go to this loop. What does this loop do? It will take each p of I, then it will put in a of k plus plus, means what this one. See, it will start from here. First one is 401, so 401 will be stored here. In that fashion it will store all the digits, first this, then like this, then like this. Okay, now j will become 3. Okay, when j becomes 3, it's the last iteration. What it will do, j is equal to 3 means it will look at the last digit, means in 401 the last digit is 4 here, right? It's starting from 4, that will be taken into consideration. Now in that fashion, what it will be, 401 divided by 10 raised to 2, j is 3, 3 minus 1 is 2, 10 raised to 2 is 100, 401 divided by 100 is 4, 4 percentage 10 is 4 only, so digit will have 4. Okay, now p of digit, p of 4 will have this 401 inserted. Okay, now what is p of digit? 4. Now here 401 will be inserted. For all other digits, it's just, for all other numbers, it's just 2 digits, no? So all will be stored at 0 position in this fashion. Okay, like 10, it will be stored first, then 17, then 24, like that, and so on. So after that, this for loop of I will be over, and this loop will start. What does this loop do? It will calculate each p of I, like it will take each p of I and it will store in this fashion, right, like the previous iteration. So it will store all in this fashion, 10, then 17, then 24, 33, 60, 61, then 72, at last it will store 401. Okay, like that it will go and store. So after storing it, when that gets over, it's just all sorted. So basically what happens, whatever be the number, like see, suppose it is 123 and 245 and 320. Okay, now first this digit will be sorted, 0, then 3, then 5, so it will be written in this form. 320 will be written first, then 123, then 245. Okay, so this is sorted. Now they are sorting this thing. Okay, while sorting this thing, how it will be, 2, 2 and 4, so 2, 2 will be like that only, then 4 will be it's already sorted. Now coming to the third one, it will sort as 2 will come here, like see, 2 is greater now, so it will come here, and 1, 1, 2, 3 will come here, so it will be 320, then 245, then 123. All right, so in this way it's descending order. In same way you can go for ascending order also. That's the working of radix sort. Hashing is the another concept which is to be focused upon. See, hashing is nothing, just h of x is equal to x percentage 10. Suppose you have a box here and many numbers are also there, h of 11, if you want to store 11 in this box, how you will store? If h of 11 means 11 percentage 10, it will give 1, so at first position 11 will be stored here. Then if you want to store 12, 12 percentage 10, 2, whatever the value comes here, in that position will store 12. So in that fashion we'll store everything. That the way of calculating where to store which number, that is known as hashing. Okay, now suppose that I have to store 24 also. 24 percentage 10 is 4. If in position of 4 it's already 14, so we can't store 24, that's collision. To resolve collision you have two things. One is linear probing. What does linear probing do? If it's full, if it's fulfilled here, what you need to do, you need to check the next location, that is also filled, then next location which will be empty, that place you will store. That's linear probing. In chaining, what you have, suppose you have these numbers 11, 12, 13 and 14, you had stored this, but 24 came. So 24, what it will do, it's a linked list, so it will point to the 24 as a box here. Then 23, 13 is stored, so 23 will be pointed as a box. 44, these both are stored, so 44 will be pointed as a box. This chaining and linear probing, you need to really remember this. It's also there in the lab program, linear probing and hashing. The code is also simple as this concept only. If you understand the concept, easily you can write the code by yourself. Third type of sort, you have address calculation sort. It also uses this hashing technique. See, what is the thing, if you have to store all these numbers in a box, okay, like this list, 25 divided by 10 is 2, okay, so it will be stored at second position. 25 will be stored here. Like that, all will be stored. 57 will be stored at 5th position. It is divide, not percentage. Okay, so this one will be considered first digit. Okay, so in that fashion all will be stored. But what's the thing, when you are storing this, it will be stored at second position, then third position. If 2 come, like 37 came first, then 33 came, like 37 will be stored here first, then 33 will also be coming and getting stored here. But that order how you will put is, you will check if 33 is less than 37, it will be stored before it, and if it is greater, then it will be stored after 37. So in that fashion, if you traverse in this form, first 12, then 25, then 33, 37, then 48, 57, then 86 and 92, that you will get an order, right, in increasing order. That's the way of address calculation sort. Okay, files and their organization you can do by yourself completely, but I have some tricks and visual images here which you can see to remember more in detail. Okay, now see, first one topic you have data hierarchy. Means what is directory? In directory, many files will be there. In each file will be consisting of all the records. Okay, consider this file has all the records, and in record what will be there? Many details like name, class and all. Okay, that's known as data field. This is data hierarchy. First topic is over. Then file attributes means for every file there will be name and where it is stored, how to access it, and attribute flags means we have to read the file or hide the file or system directory, everything that will be the attributes flag. Now the third thing here is text and binary file. You know what's binary? Ones and zeros, right? And text is ABCD, like alphabets. So if the file is stored in this form, it is text. If in this form, it is binary. Okay, now you have some basic operations. See, create means if you want to create a new file. Update means if the file is present and you have to put a new information somewhere, that is known as update. And retrieve means if you have to collect some information, you will use this retrieve. And maintain means what? See, if you organize the files, it will have same type of info, some similar info that you can place in groups. That is known as maintaining the file. Since you have to maintain a file, there are some ways in which you can maintain the file. First one is sequential. Sequential means in the order it will be noted down, like record 1, record 2 till record n. Then relative means what? It's not compulsory that you have to allocate all those. You can leave free also, you can allocate directly here also. That's relative. Then indexed. In index file you will have the indexes here. In first index you can store any record here, or second record here, third record here, or in fifth record it will be null or anything. Okay, that's indexed file. The index will be given here, the file will be given here. Now the dense and sparse index means, in dense you will have the record 10 means it will point to record 10, 20 means for 20, 30 means for 30. But in sparse index what you will have, if you point to 10 it will point from 10 to 20. Then 30, if you see 30, it will point from 30 to 50. Then 60 will be pointed by this. So it's a small representation, and what you choose, that will be pointed by a greater representation. Okay, that's sparse, and this is dense. Now coming to hashed indices means what? By using the hashing technique, they will generate the address, and that address will be stored. Like if you want to store 12, you will store in 1. Like see, hash of 12 is equal to 12% 10, that is equal to 1, right? So in the first place it will be stored. That file will have some number, due to that it will be generated, and in that generated location the file will be stored. Okay, this one, if it is 1 here, that file will be stored here. That is known as hashed indices.